What's up, fellow gamers? I'm going to do a review about Grim Dawn here today now that it's officially released. I've done quite a few gameplay videos and a lot of coverage on this game already, but I figure I'd do an actual, official review of the finished product at this point, so people can just kind of, get the highlights and the ideas of what the game is and how it works, and hopefully encourage you to purchase it and have as much fun with it as I have. So I'm going to start out with a low-level character, just to kind of show you some basic stuff, and we'll go from there. So this game is, in my opinion, this is one of the best action RPGs that's been created in many, many years. It's absolutely amazing. Like this is what I feel Diablo 3 should have been. Like, this game is incredible. If you've ever played Titan Quest, this is its successor. It's made by, a few of the same people from that original team. Titan Quest 2 was never going to happen, but these people wanted to continue making these type of games, so they branched off and made their own company called Crate Entertainment, and they're now making Grim Dawn. They do have planned expansions already, and other DLC content, so hopefully there's great stuff in store for this game. But from what I've seen so far, I don't doubt these developers. They're pretty amazing. They started out as just a two-man team when this game first got going, and I think now they only have like 10. And for a 10-person team, this game is incredible. There's multi-billion-dollar companies that don't make games that are this polished and balanced and just fun to play. It's kind of sad, really. Yeah, so it's very, very Diablo-esque. You can see it's got the same feel. It's got the point and click. You've got your skill bars down here. Your left click, right click. Health, energy. You got your gear. It's a very, very heavily loot-based game. As you get further and further into the game, if you get to a point where you can't pass it, no matter what, the boss just keeps kicking your ass over and over, it's because your gear sucks. This game is very, very loot-centered. You have to have good gear. Your first playthrough on normal or veteran, if you choose to, is not that difficult. As long as you're, somewhat familiar with these types of games, it's not hard. Once you get into elite mode, gear is very, very important, much more so than normal or veteran. Normal mode is basically easy. Gear doesn't mean anything. The mobs have very low health. They do very low damage. It's a very simple playthrough. I prefer to do all my playthroughs on veteran, which you can choose on your difficulty settings from the main menu before you load into the game. And it basically turns normal into just a step below elite mode. So it's still hard. Resistances are still important. Your gear does matter, but just not as much so as in elite mode. And then there's also ultimate mode, which is after you beat the end boss in elite, you unlock ultimate. And ultimate mode is like the challenge. That's what this game's all about. Like, the whole goal here is to make your character strong enough to be able to handle ultimate mode. Like, that's the whole idea behind this. It's a very, very skill-oriented game as well. Like, your build is very, very important, and that to me is what keeps me coming back. Like, the gear is fun, the loot grind's fun, but it's the fact that there's so many different builds that are available, and they're all good. Based on, if you have the gear to support it, any build can work. Some builds will work better, but any build can be functional and plausible. Every build works. To show you an idea here. So, you got your basic stats. A few pages worth. Here's your defensive stuff, retaliation. If you build that, that's actually a really fun way to play. Guys hit you and just kill themselves. It's great. You got your weapon attacks. So this is your main hand, and then your right click, and then this is just, basic weapon damage if you have an attack bound to this, like a default. Obviously all your basic stats. There is nothing on the character sheet that shows like the overall damage that these skills do, but it does scale up the tooltip damage, so you still have somewhat of an idea of how much you're gaining when you put points into it and stuff like that. Then you got your three main stats: physique, cunning, and spirit. Physique is like your strength. You can see it basically tells you what it does. It gives you bonus health, health regen, and it also ups your defensive ability, which the higher that is, the less chance the enemy has to hit you. Cunning, physical damage, pierce damage, duration damage, so like dots and stuff like that, poisons. And that also ups your offensive ability, which is your chance to hit the enemy. DPS, overall damage of your main click here. And then armor rating, self-explanatory. Resistances, you can cap these out. In veteran and elite mode, they can cap out at 80. I'm not even sure what they cap out on the ultimate. I haven't got there yet. I'm very close. Very close. So I'll know soon. So then you've got dual class system in this game. Each character you make can pick 2 classes. At level 2, you get to pick your first one. And then at level 10, you get to pick your second. So for me, I'm just, again, this is the thing I love about this game, is you can just screw around with whatever builds you think might sound fun and be fun to play. Try it. It probably works. If it doesn't work at first, keep trying it. Get some gear to support it. It'll get better. Like for me, I've named this guy Bomberman, and I'm straight up just throwing grenades. Like I'm just going to go with grenades and traps and cool stuff like that. And I'm going to get my secondary. I haven't decided which one yet to support it. You can see here, there's like here, this is one of those default weapon attacks. So you put points into this, and then you put that there. So this becomes your left click now instead of just a standard hit. So it gives you a bunch of enhanced damage and other things. Each tree, you can see, has many, many skills to choose from, many, many options. There's no way to get all of them. Unless you go pure into one, you may be able to get all of them. You probably won't max all of them, but you can definitely unlock them. So, you know, here's Soldier. He's all hand-to-hand, melee, tons of armor. You can go either two-hander or one-hand and shield, and just tank everything. You got Demolitionist, which is what this guy is. He's all about guns and bombs, you know, traps, stuff like that. Your Occultist is basically, essentially like a warlock. You've got poisons and curses, and you can summon demons and birds and pets and whatever to fight for you. The Nightblade, essentially like, you know, your assassin. You can dual wield melee weapons once you put 1 point into this. And then, you know, all these circular skills are passives. The squares are actives. So, you know, here's an active skill, and then this is a passive that adds to that active skill. Arcanist, your basic, you know, mage, wizard, sorceress, sorcerer, whatever you want to call it. Just all, you know, lightning, ice, fire types. Well, actually no fire. I lied. Fire is Demolitionist. Lightning and ice, and Aether, I believe. Yeah, Aether with this character as well. And then the Shaman is kind of what you'd think a shaman would be. You're, you know, all into nature, and you've got, you know, things to buff your health and your overall survivability, and you can summon this little pet. He's actually really powerful. And then he also uses like wind and lightning spells. Lots of physical and bleed damage as well. But yeah, I mean, that's a basic overview of things. The campaign in this game is massive. Like, I can't even imagine that they're going to add more content to this game with expansions, because this game is currently already huge. Like, you compare the length of time it takes to complete this campaign to a lot of the other games out there on the market that are like this now, this one just blows them all away. To do, I mean, if it's your first time playing this game, you don't really know everything, and you like to explore all the little nooks and crannies and every part of the map, you could easily put 30 hours into one playthrough of this campaign. And that's, you know, that's if you're still trying to get through. If you're reading all the story and all the little bits and stuff like that, you could probably put 50 hours into this campaign on one playthrough. It's pretty badass. I mean, it's a very, very large game world. You know, you go all the way up into here, and It's a lot bigger than this map makes it look. This map is extremely zoomed out, but it's a very, very large game, which is awesome. You know, more content, more replayability. I love it. I have very, very few things negative about this game, and honestly, at the moment, I can't even think of any. I used to have negative things, I should say, but as they've come along, you know, I've been playing this for quite a while, since early access, and I bought into that a long time ago, and it's just gotten better and better and better, and at this point in time, it's the best action RPG on the market. Diablo 3 is a great game. It is awesome in its own way, but this game is awesome in every way. It's just an all-around badass game. Graphically, it's gorgeous. The spells, the effects are just really cool, and just the customization that you can do to your character is the best part of this game. The unlimited amount of customization is just unbeatable. And then, so even with those two dual-class skill trees, that's not all. You also get a devotion skill tree. You can get a maximum of 50 devotion points to spread throughout here. As you can see, there's lots and lots of constellations. And to get devotion points, you'll find shrines randomly placed throughout the world, and you'll have to do, you know, certain things to cleanse the shrine to get the devotion point. And once you do, then you can, you know, unlock these things. And then at the end of a lot of these, some of them are just passive bonuses. Others have passives and then lead up to an actual, like, active or chance on hit type of skill. You know, so there's a lot of diversity and options in this as well. Tons and tons of different ways you can branch this out and just customize your character to the point where no one person should be playing the same character in this game, because there's so many different choices that it's just, there's no way. Unless they find a build online and just follows it step by step exactly for what it is, which you can do. You get on the forums for this game, there's tons of great support from the community and the developers and everything. That they have a whole forum post just about builds that people have created, and, you know, the items they need and the skills and devotions, and it's a great community. It's a great game, and the developers are up front. They're not like some of these other guys that, you know, when something goes wrong, they're not just going to keep it in the dark and hope you don't notice. They're going to be up front with you. They're going to tell you, and they're going to say, hey, we're going to fix it. We know it's on its way. We're trying to fix it. Just real quick, I'm going to give you just an idea of what, like, a higher level character is going to look like, as far as, you know, you got little yellows and crap gear here, stats, no resistances. You get a character like this that is actually, I just barely finished Elite mode with this character like 20 minutes ago, so I haven't hopped into Ultimate yet, but I plan on doing so very soon. So you can see 6, 7, and 8 turns on all three of my buffs. Buffs are very important in this game. I mean, I'll show you the difference without them. So my DPS is 18,638. Let me turn these buffs on, and it's quite significant. It almost doubles my damage. It's huge. Buffs are something you want. And then I've got this here. This is a little active skill that I gained off of this item in my gun called Haunted Steel. You can see it gives those, under the rare component Haunted Steel right there, it says 8 vitality, 25% vitality damage, and 8% of attack converted to health. But then below that it grants a skill called Bloodthirster. And that's the stats and what it does. So it's quite helpful for those oh shit moments where you need to, like, oh crap, I'm gonna die. Bam, tons of health steal. Fill me back up. And then you do a little bit of extra damage on top of that with the bleed and stuff. This guy also has, you know, a default attack maxed out. So I shoot fire bullets instead of regular bullets because I'm using Fire Strike. Let's see, I'll show you. So as you get further down the tree, you unlock like AoE and knockdowns and stuns with this. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm actually shooting something. It's pretty cool. So those AoEs branch out and just hit everything around it. And then those falcons, are those falcons? Yeah, falcon. So the falcon that you see shooting out, that is a devotion skill. This one here, Falcon Swoop, that I've attached to my main attack. So my main attack has a 15% chance every time I fire to shoot those out, and as you can see, they do quite a bit of damage as well. They do 65% of my main hand damage, and then an extra 2052 bleed damage over 3 seconds. You know, so then, and I've also got this, like as a passive, 100% chance at 40% health to pop up a little bubble around me that absorbs 2700 damage. 30-second skill recharge, so it can't just keep popping up and keep you alive forever, because that'd be bullshit. And then just, you know, a bunch of little passives, little things here and there, some more active skills. Just stuff to keep me alive and do more damage. But you can see this is a, you know, what trees look like with a little more points in them. In order to unlock these skills later on down the tree, you have to put points into this mastery. And, you know, so you need 1 mastery for this set, 5 mastery for this set, 10, and so on. To get all the way down here, 50 is quite a lot. Like, I'm attempting to make it to this here with this character. I don't think I'm going to have enough points left to do what I'd like to do, but I'm still going to shoot for it, and I might have to refund some points out of one of these and do what I have to do to work towards that, because that's a really, really good skill. You can see it says exclusive skill on it. Only 1 exclusive skill can be active at any one time, and that's 1 exclusive skill across both your skill trees. So if both your skill trees have an exclusive skill in them, you can only use 1 of those at a time, so don't accidentally grab both. I've done that before. I thought it was 1 exclusive per tree. Oops. A lot of respecking done on that character. But yeah, so exclusive skills are very, very powerful skills, and that's why they're exclusive. They don't want you using more than 1 of them at a time, because it would make your guy pretty much a god. So yeah, pretty badass though. You know, you can see purples right now, they're called epics, or sorry, not epics, legendaries, are the hardest items to find at the moment. They're the most powerful items. So if you find a purple, they can't drop until level 50 plus, but once they do start dropping, you'll be happy, as long as it's for your character. That's the most infuriating thing, is when it drops and it's not for your character. You're just like, son of a bitch. But that's okay. It then gives you an excuse to build a character around that item. So it's awesome. That's what I do. You know, whenever I find legendaries that I'm not going to use, I store them in my shared stash, and then I save those, and my next character that I make, I'm going to try and build around some of those items, as you can see here. So you get a shared stash that has 4 tabs on it, and every character on your account, I guess there's not really accounts in this game, so it's not an online server-based game, but every character on your computer, or whatever the hell you want to call it, your hard drive, doesn't matter, can share these 4 tabs, and then you have 1 just exclusive tab that's for that specific character that you're on. You can see here I've got some pretty cool, you know, items that I get to try out with some character here in the future. I'm sure getting sick of finding these though, I'll tell you that. And then as far as end game goes in this game, can't really show you that because it would take quite a while to get there. But they're similar to like a rogue style RPG dungeon, where you have to craft a specific key to open the door to get in. And then once you do get in, it's once per session. And if you die while you're down there, that's it. You have to start over. So you go into this dungeon, you try and work your way down through all the levels. And at the end, there's, you know, a really powerful boss with tons of loot, if you can kill him. And then that's it. You either succeed, start over and run it again for more items, or you die and have to start over and run it again. But yeah, you only get 1 chance. So if you die, you have to exit out to the main menu, load back in, make another key, and go back to it. That's really about it. It is a great game. It's truly amazing. It's gone on sale quite a few times, so if you don't want to drop I think it's $25 that it's going for right now, then, you know, you can wait for it to go on sale. I've seen it as low as 15. It's pretty rare that it gets that low. It usually just goes down to like 21 or 22. So it's never a huge discount. But I can tell you right now, out of all the AAA titles out there right now that are costing, you know, $60+, this has more content, more entertainment value, and way more replayability than anything else out there that I've seen. I've played a lot of games. I've seen a lot of games. This is one of the best games we've ever had since Diablo 2. Like, this is the action RPG to be playing at this point in time. I've played all of them. Marvel Heroes, amazing game. Awesome. I've put over 1,000 hours into it. It's a great game, but it's great in a different way. Both Torchlights, again, great games. Replayability is not nearly as high. Diablo 3, great game. Very well done. I mean, but you burn out. You know, there's only so many. The balance is not the same. There's only so many skill builds that actually work to get into the higher tier, greater rifts, and it gets lame using everybody else's same old cookie cutter builds. It's just, that's not fun to me. If I wanted to do that, I'd go play an MMO and use a cookie cutter build. And then Devilian, which is the most recent one right before this. I don't have a whole lot of positive to say about that game. It was one of those ones where it was a lot of fun until the new fun factor wore off, and then you were like, okay, why the hell am I still playing this? It's just be happy it's free to play and you didn't have to pay for it. It's graphically, it's cool. Gameplay, it's pretty fun. End game is non-existent and boring as hell, and the loot system is just bad. It's very much pay to win. It's poorly done. But yeah, that's it for this review here. Just wanted to get into the main key points and let you guys know what this game's really all about. And like I said, don't waste more money on these $60 titles, because this is better than those for less than half the price. If you've got $25 and you're looking for a great action RPG game, hack and slash style, loot fest, tons of, you know, skill choices and diversity in your build and everything, pick this game up. It's worth every penny. Alright, well, that's it for me. If you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't, comment and tell me why. Later, gamers.